All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Julian Germinal, and I am one of the hosts for the Mixed Reality Podcast. So, crazy thing, this is going to be our first official video that gets dropped on the Mixed Reality's YouTube page and social media pages. But this is not the first episode of the podcast. This is more like a small, tiny segment just because I wanted to shoot a video because this topic is kind of hot right now. But before we even dive into the topic of 100 men versus one silverback gorilla, I'm just going to do a brief description of what we're looking for on this podcast. So Mixed Realities is a platform to be able to interview business owners, corporate executives that are looking to climb up or whichever level they're in their corporate journey. We're looking to interview them. The basic mission statement of this podcast is we have the conversations professionals refuse to have. Now, that's not meant to be in a derogatory way. It's more or less of this certain facade business owners, corporate guys feel like they have to hold at all times to basically brand image control. Look, ultimately, I believe at this point we're at right now, the world is looking for authenticity. They're connecting with authenticity. My business model. We're not a typical real estate sales company. The Germinal Group is what sponsors the Mixed Reality Podcast. That is a real estate company in which we sell, help buy, and invest in real estate. But we're not a typical sales company. We focus on authenticity. I teach people how to make money through buying property, how to buy their first home the right way. I'm a teacher. I'm not looking to sell. Listen, at the end of the day, I don't know about everyone else, but I want to see my clients winning. I love when they win. I want to stay in connections with these clients 4, 5, 6, 10 years from now. So I want to make sure I place them in the best position to win. It's sort of like a coach, but I'm not forcing anybody to go out there and play. I'm not going to beg for business. I don't do that. I believe in being authentic. I want to help people. I'm a people's person, which is why I'm sitting here doing this podcast. But ultimately, I love talking to people. I love interviewing. I love knowing people's stories. My favorite people to actually sit down and speak with are my elder people, my seniors. They have so many stories to tell you from, and I'm a learn from your story type of individual. I don't need to experience something myself for me to learn from it. I will listen to your story and I will learn from it. But lo and behold, this platform, we're looking to interview business owners, people looking to make a difference through business in the community, in the world. I don't care at what point that you're in, where you're at. I would love to interview, give you a chance to broadcast your personality, be authentic, connect with people. So that means we're going to ask you questions like, where did you start from? What's your story? Give us a story that would inspire 10, 15-year-old that is looking to start a business or don't even know that being an entrepreneur is their destiny yet, but that's sitting in their spirit. What would you be able to tell them in order to make them pursue that dream? Because what we're not going to do is make it sound easy, right? It's not easy to be an entrepreneur. It's one of the hardest things. What makes it the hardest? Starting a business, you're going to be hurting unless you come for money, unless you already have money. You're going to be broke for years. You have to grind. That is really, to me, the biggest thing that sets entrepreneurs apart from everybody else is that they're willing to take the risk. Because once you start a business, you're fully committed to the business. You're not really doing anything else outside of working on your business. You're solely on your own. There's no W-2 providing a job. And there's a good possibility that you are not going to achieve what you're sending yourself out to. Now, we're not going to get into this or that because obviously for me, there's no not making it. I'm already there. I just got to work my way there. Learn. You got to be open to learning. But you got to understand the risk of doing this. Okay. So I'd love to interview people, and really anyone out there that can help link me with an interview and actually successfully connect me with an individual that I'm able to interview, we will pay you $150. We're really looking to connect with our fellow entrepreneurs in the community, our politicians, and get them out here so we're able to give them a platform to really, truly speak their truth. Now, that's on them if they speak the truth, but all we can do is give you the platform. But anyways, after all that said and done, we're going to go ahead and dive into the topic of this video and the reason for me sitting here today. Now, do we really think that 100 men, and when you say 100 men, my mind automatically thinks you're going to grab a handful of people, which is going to equate to 100 suburban dudes, and place them in a ring, confined area, an octagon, with one silverback gorilla. There is no chance that one of them walk out of there without like their body being like disabled for the rest of their lives or permanently damaged, or majority of them dead. Now, if a gorilla's coming at you with intent to kill and he wants to kill 100 of you guys, all of you guys are going to be dead. Let me tell you exactly why I am saying this. So I'm not just going to talk. I'm just going to try to give you some sort of basis or facts. So listen to this. I believe it's at the age of 17 or 18, or when you graduate high school. It's one of those three options. After that, the average human never fully sprints again. And that's most humans. Another fact, most humans can't even bench their own body weight. You can't bench 185. And it's very few humans that can actually get under a bench and actually put up 225. That's not common at all. That's very few people can do that, let alone getting into 250s, 300, 315, and so on and so on. Now, I believe there might have been a human who's done 1,000 or maybe 1,100, but a gorilla can actually bench around 4,000, 4,500 pounds. And these are things that I've seen from credible sources that gorillas can do. Obviously, I don't think they've put a gorilla under a bench, but the gorillas are able to do that just based off of their sheer amount of strength that they have. Let's not even talk about like their what 2 to 3 inch canines that they have in their mouths. They don't have regular teeth like we do. They have canines. No chance. Just the fact that you don't run, meaning that most humans are pretty much out of shape. You can't even run away from a gorilla, let alone be in a fight where adrenaline is going and like you're using energy. There's no chance that 100 regular suburban dudes last, let alone win in a fight with a silverback gorilla. Now, let me tell you a scenario where I think that it's a high probable chance of us actually coming out. There at least one person, whether it's crawling or walking out of that area, alive, gorilla, done for, dead. That is if you take 100 of the finest human specimens the human race has ever bred, and they're going to be in their prime. So I'm going to take, out of the 100, I need 25 of the best MMA fighters to ever live. So, of course, John Jones is number one in my book. Khabib, the 25 best UFC fighters. I'm sure McGregor's in there. Adesanya, all of them brothers in their primes. 25 of them. The next 25 is going to come from the Navy, their best, the Navy SEALs. Their best 25, best Navy SEALs to ever exist in their prime. The Army, their best 25, infantry guys to ever exist in their prime. The Marines, their best 25 guys to ever exist in their prime. You put those guys in there with a silverback gorilla. I think anywhere from 30 to 40% of the guys are going to walk out of there. Now, it could be more because those guys are bred for that. They're bred to kill, to win, to complete the mission. They're going to coordinate. They're in shape. They're strong. Finest human specimens. They can bench 225 and more. These guys are severely in shape. MMA fighters, to me, are one of the baddest dudes walking around. They're at the peak of the food chain, at the top of the food chain as far as athletes, because truly, no other athletes can really do anything as far as like physically to them. They're trained and made for this. Then, of course, Navy SEALs and all the military guys, they actually do that for a living. So you put them brothers against one silverback gorilla. Now, if you start adding like a troop of gorillas, that's a whole different story. But we're talking about 1v100. Then I think we have the highest probability of coming out there. And actually, majority of the guys to a little bit less than half of them are going to walk out of there. And I'm not saying unscathed, unharmed, but I know they can see one of theirs go down and continuously continue with the mission unaffected. Now, after is a different story. But while they're in mission, they're going to stay en route for their mission to be completed, which is to beat that gorilla. Outside of that, I mean, I would even take some tribemen, but if we're going to say no weapons allowed, this has to be bare hands. Even the tribes like that are out in nature with these same gorillas and that can actually hunt these things like with 4 to 5 guys and actually succeed in taking these things down. If you're going to say no weapons, they don't stand a chance. And they're familiar with this. They do this, but they need those weapons. Outside of that, I don't foresee 100 suburban dudes doing anything with a gorilla. Outside of, first of all, you're going to see the first wave of guys get torn apart, and then mentally they fall apart, and they're going to run, but they're not in shape, so you can't run. So that is my take. Let me know in the comment section if you guys agree with that or not. I'm going to stand pretty firm on that. Listen, but again, as a part of being in business, my mind is open. Show me some facts, show me some stuff. I'll definitely change my mind. But I mean, just based off of like our nature as humans, I don't see it. But again, our top best versus a gorilla, one silverback gorilla, a normal silverback gorilla, they by far, as far as like physics, outdo us in every category outside of mind. That's where we would win. But it has to be, we have to be in our top shape and got to know how to hit, how to hurt, like where to hit to hurt things. So unless you got that, our best versus their average, or even, I don't know, I don't even want to say the best gorillas ever exist. I don't even know where that even would start. But yeah, I mean, that's it. Let me know in the comment section if you're wrong. What do you think? What different scenarios would you bring into this equation that would have humanity coming out on top? Because I don't think it's many, but I think I gave the best probable chances of us actually surviving. Yeah, let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Look forward to the first interview being done. We're going to start dropping these episodes once a week. You can count on us to drop some sort of episode interviewing somebody. Now, we're doing this as interviews come, but we will get in the groove here. With your help, we will start interviewing people that you guys want to hear from. Help us get this thing moving and grooving. Let me know what you think about that 100v1 situation. I just think it's kind of crazy in the comment section. I'm sorry. Let me know in the comment section. But I just think this conversation and all is kind of crazy. But hey, it was an interesting one. I had to at least throw my 2 cents in there. Let me know what you guys think. And we're done and out. Adios. Love you guys.